Sanchin kata originated in Fuzhou, China. The renowned Okinawan master Morio Higaonna studied the martial arts in Fuzhou from 1868 to 1881. It was at this time that he learned the kata of Goju from the legendary Chinese master Du Ko. On his return to Okinawa, Master Higaonna passed on this kata to his top student, Master Goju Miyagi. Master Miyagi in turn passed on the kata to his protege, Master Anich Miyagi. He in his turn then passed them on to Master Morio Higaonna in their complete and original form, together with the profound martial meanings which they represent. The literal translation of the name Sanchin is 3 wars or 3 battles. Master Higaonna will explain the meaning of this term in more detail later in this introduction. Sanchin kata, like Tensho, is an example of Heishu gata. The principles of both these kata epitomize the methods of Goju karate. Sanchin kata is the most important basic kata which represents the fundamental foundation for all the techniques in Goju. The kata of Goju can be divided into 2 main types. These are Heishu gata and Kaishu gata. Sanchin and Tensho katas are examples of Heishu gata. Tension throughout the body and especially in the tanden is maintained from the beginning to the end of the kata. Sanchin kata is a very demanding kata, and for the student it is a severe test. After the Second World War in 1948, Master Goju Miyagi introduced the Geksai katas as the first katas to be learned in the Goju system. Before the war, however, Sanchin was the first kata to be taught. The instruction was exhaustive and thorough, and it was considered so fundamental and important in developing strength specifically for karate. It was said that if Sanchin kata was practiced diligently, it would not be necessary to study any other kata. The training was severe at this time, and out of 10 students who might begin karate, after 1 year only 1 or 2 would remain. Master Higaonna's senpai, Sensei Seiko Kina, Chie Tomoyose, Chitsue Yogi, and Shunshin Furugen, for the first weeks of their training in Master Miyagi's dojo, practiced only the stepping sequence of Sanchin kata. This was typical of the training before the war. Sanchin kata practice strengthens the body, mind, and spirit. It adds power to technique and trains the reflexes. It also teaches patience and improves and maintains the faculties of the mind into old age. Because Sanchin kata practice is so beneficial, and because it is the fundamental kata of Goju, which teaches the underlying principles of this style, it has become the most widely known and widely taught kata in the Goju system. If practiced diligently, this kata develops the qualities required for karate. It develops what Master Higaonna describes as karate power. Now Master Higaonna will explain the key points of Sanchin kata. It is essential to first achieve correct focus in the feet. The toes of both feet should be spread apart as far as possible. The toes and soles of the feet should be stuck to the floor. Imagine the feet extending into the floor like the roots of a tree into the ground to create an unshakable base. If the feet and legs are focused properly with the strength and tension beginning here, then it will be easier to focus strength in the upper body in the correct way. The sign of Sanchin, which means 3, refers to the 3 distinct body areas. From the top of the head to the shoulders is Jodan. From the shoulders to the solar plexus is Chudan. And from the solar plexus to the soles of the feet is Gedan. These are the 3 distinct divisions of the body that Master Goju Miyagi described to Master Anich Miyagi. ですね、高さ。で、これが上段、中段、下段を指すということですね。上段、中段、下段、1、2、3、1、2、3、この3つを指して。Now Master Higaonna will explain in detail the correct method of focusing each of the 3 areas. This is called shime, or tightening of the body. Jodan. The eyes look straight ahead, see all around. The mind is conscious of the activity of the whole body. The chin is pulled in slightly. Chudan. The shoulders are kept down, the chest is out and open, and the back is straight. The elbows are in tight to the sides of the body. The direction of strength in the forearm spirals outwards and around and concentrated in the fist.
左も同じように巻きつけるようにして力を拳の方に集約する。これが中段。下段は
The thighs are tensed. The anal sphincter muscle is drawn up and in, and the testicles are pulled up. The lower abdomen is rolled forward and up, centering on the tanden, which coils tight. The knees are bent and turned in and are directly over the toes. The feet are turned in and the soles of the feet and toes are stuck to the floor. The toes are spread apart. If Sanchin is performed as described, with the three areas correctly focused, and this combined with correct breathing, then correct karate technique and strength for karate power will be achieved.
空手の技ができ、また力が出てくるということを言われております。特にサンチンは
The karateka of former times in Okinawa studied and practiced Sanchin kata extensively. It was considered of paramount importance. Training would begin with Sanchin and end with Sanchin. Sanchin kata would be practiced many times every day. Sanchin kata breathing. Sanchin breathing is performed with the abdomen. The shoulders should not rise up and focus must be maintained in the tanden at all times. The muscles throughout the body are filled with Sanchin, but the breathing should be smooth and flowing. The throat should be free of tension to allow the breath to be inhaled smoothly. It is a mistake to restrict the throat when performing Sanchin. The breath should be inhaled smoothly through the nose and down into the tanden. When exhaling, breathe out from the tanden smoothly and expel the air through the mouth. There are different methods of breathing according to the technical level of the practitioner. For the novice, the breath is imagined to travel down into the tanden via the nose and throat and stomach, and then out via the same pathway. A more advanced method is to imagine the breath entering through the nose, flowing around the top and back of the head, down the length of the spine, under the groin, and collecting in the tanden where it is coiled tight, and there it is exhaled by the stomach, chest, throat, and mouth. An even higher level is to imagine the breath traveling all the way down to the legs and into the soles of the feet. Concentrating in the tanden in this way and correct abdominal breathing causes the diaphragm to move up and down more than usual. This movement massages and stimulates the internal organs, which in turn promotes good health and a strong constitution. If the internal organs are in good condition, then internal strength can be developed and fortified. The combination of a strong and healthy internal system with a well-developed external frame will result in the development of true karate power. For this reason, Sanchin kata is fundamental to Goju and a necessary part of the Goju system. As already mentioned, Sanchin kata was brought back to Okinawa from Fuzhou, China by Master Morio Higaonna after studying the martial arts there under Master Goju. This Sanchin kata differs in two main ways from the Sanchin kata we know today. Firstly, instead of using the closed fist, the techniques were exclusively open hand. Secondly, the method of breathing was fast and explosive. If powder were held in the outstretched arm, with one powerful breath it would be blown away. Master Morio Higaonna's exhalation was said to be extremely powerful. The breath, as it was expelled from the mouth, was said to spiral rather like the motion of a bullet makes when it leaves a gun. On his return to Okinawa from China, it was this open-handed Sanchin kata that he first taught to select students at his home. In 1905, at the request of the principal of the Naha Public Commercial School, Master Higaonna began teaching the martial arts. The intention of the principal was to educate the boys both physically and spiritually. He wished to strengthen their bodies while at the same time teach them correct moral values. The spear hand of Sanchin kata was a weapon that, when tempered, was a technique for killing an opponent. Therefore, this technique was not suitable for teaching to youngsters, as it emphasized the martial aspect of the martial art. Because of this, Master Higaonna changed the open hand to the closed fist, which emphasized the physical conditioning more than the martial application. He also introduced a slower method of breathing, again to emphasize physical development. However, At this time, Master Higaonna continued to teach the original open-handed Sanchin to his select students at his home. Tradition also played an important role in the change from the open hand to the closed fist Sanchin in Okinawa. For the Okinawan people who had a long history of their own indigenous martial art, which involved striking the makiwara, the closed fist felt natural. Master Higaonna recalls that as a young boy, even those who had no experience of karate would naturally assume a closed fist stance when fighting with other boys. In his younger days, Master Goju Miyagi, under the guidance of Master Morio Higaonna, practiced the original open-hand form of Sanchin kata. In the beginning, he was constantly drilled in the fast, explosive method of breathing. But later on, this method of breathing changed to a slower and deeper form. Emphasis was placed on abdominal breathing, strength being focused in the panden. So it was that the original Sanchin kata from Fuchao, China, was adapted to suit the schoolboys of Okinawa and the natural leaning of the Okinawan people in general. The open hands became closed fists and the breathing became deeper and slower. After Master Morio Higaonna died, Master Miyagi continued to practice Sanchin kata as he had been instructed by his teacher, but he also began to develop and research his own original version of Sanchin kata. Master Higaonna's Sanchin consists of 3 steps forward, turn, 3 steps back, turn, 1 step forward, and then 1 step backward, whereas Master Miyagi's Sanchin consists of 3 steps forward, then without turning 2 steps backwards. Therefore, the major difference is that in Master Miyagi's Sanchin there are 2 steps to the rear and no turning, whereas in Master Higaonna's Sanchin there is only 1 step to the rear, the emphasis being on moving forward rather than back. Master Miyagi's theory was that for human beings it is natural for them to walk forwards, but to walk backwards it is awkward and unnatural. Therefore, because it is unnatural to walk backwards and dangerous if you cannot see where you're going, it is necessary to use other senses and to concentrate intensely on the rear areas of the body. The eyes look straight ahead, but the consciousness is directed behind and the rear muscles become tense naturally. It was with this theory in mind that Master Miyagi developed his Sanchin kata to ensure equal emphasis on moving forwards and moving backwards. The sequence of Sanchin kata as developed by Master Miyagi is very simple, but the theory behind it involving physiological and psychological principles is extremely profound. Recent research has shown that moving backwards, rather like in Sanchin kata, may remedy a variety of lower back complaints. Master Miyagi has proved to be way ahead of his time, as he also spoke of this beneficial aspect of Sanchin training many years ago before the Second World War. It was with this kind of detailed and thorough research and innovative thinking that Master Miyagi developed Sanchin kata as we know it today. With human beings, areas of the body that are not normally used tend to be neglected and forgotten about. It is easy to develop the front of the body, for example, but people often forget about the back areas. The human body, when not used, degenerates and becomes weak. A classic example of this is the feet. Thousands of years ago, when people would walk without any kind of foot support, the toes in the foot was much stronger and more dexterous than it is today. Now that people wear shoes all day long, the foot has been badly neglected, and consequently it has lost its natural dexterity and strength. This same weakening condition will happen to the lower back also if it is not used. Concentration and awareness given to the lower back in Sanchin kata will correct this degeneration. The same intense focusing of power that is concentrated when moving forward must also be concentrated when moving backwards. The soles of the feet, the heels, the knees, the buttocks and the back muscles must all be focused. With correct attention to these points, the back will become stronger and technique more powerful. The other change that Master Miyagi introduced was the breathing method. In Master Miyagi's method, the breathing is much slower, with the emphasis being on executing each technique with strength to develop more power. To understand this concept more fully, imagine lifting a 5-kilogram barbell. If it is lifted normally, then it is quite easy and will not require much effort. However, if you imagine this same barbell to weigh 20 kilograms and then try to lift it with this image in mind, it will require much more strength and will consequently result in the development of more power. Likewise, if you practice Sanchin kata, performing each technique slowly, and try to execute these techniques using double the amount of power your body actually has, then you will develop even greater strength. Now Master Higaonna will explain the kamai, or beginning posture of Sanchin kata. This underwent change after 1945. Today, Sanchin kata begins from Musubadachi with the hands crossed in front of the groin area. Before the Second World War, Sanchin kata would begin from the yoi position, but then the fist would be drawn to the sides and heikodachi assumed prior to beginning the kata itself. After the Second World War in 1948, Master Miyagi decided that one ready posture was sufficient in preparation for the kata. Because other students of Master Miyagi were busy after the war trying to earn a living for themselves and their families, only Master Anichi Miyagi and Master Eiji Miyazato learned this way of beginning the kata. It is still acceptable to begin Heishu gata such as Sanchin and Tenshu kata with the two kamai positions as they are basic kata. But the Kaishu gata, Gekusai Daichi through Superimpe, must begin with Musubadachi kamai as they represent technique. In real combat, no kamai is the true kamai. On the outside, the disposition appears calm and natural. Inside, however, the karateka is alert and the spirit is ready to react to the slightest movement. Shime, which is sometimes translated as testing, is more accurately described as assisting a student. It is for the student's benefit, to help him focus his muscles and concentration correctly. It is to encourage the student to discover his true potential in order to bring out and develop strengths which he may have thought he did not possess. Shime is not so much teaching as helping the student in his training. Now Master Higaonna will explain and demonstrate the key points of shime using an assistant. The instructor must begin at the feet and not at the shoulders. To ensure that the soles of the feet are firmly rooted to the floor, try and insert the finger under the arch. Then grip the ankles and attempt to move the feet. This will encourage the student to focus concentration in this area. It is reported that Master Kanyo Higaonna and other masters from that era could determine the physical condition of a student by feeling the pulse of the ankle. If he determined that the student's condition was not good on that day, then he would discontinue the training. Next, check the knees and the tension in the buttocks by feeling these areas. This will help the student to focus in the legs. Once this has been achieved, then strike the areas being checked as shown. Next, check focus in the tanden. As you touch, the student's concentration will naturally be focused in that area. This applies to the shoulders also. After the shoulders, check the latissimus dorsi muscle. When striking the shoulders, do not hit forcefully without warning. First, place the hands over the area as a signal to the student, then strike down from above. If the knees are improperly focused, or if one leg is stronger than the other, then the student may fall to one side. Shime at the shoulders will encourage tightening of all the muscles in the body, from the toes to the fingers. It will also encourage the student to correct his overall posture so that the spine is erect. As well as correcting technique, striking the student has the effect of stimulating the whole consciousness. Shime conditions and trains the mind, the spirit, and the body. The eyes will also be effective and will appear sharp and alert. Shime unifies the mind, spirit, and body to bring out the true karate power inherent in the student. It is important to realize that Shime is a lot more than simply striking different areas of the body.
ただ叩くんじゃない。と同時またこうすることによって相手は
During Shime, the student must be conscious of his movements, his muscles, and his breathing. If he is preoccupied with the strikes, then he will not be able to execute the kata correctly. On the other hand, if he is focused on the kata, harmonizing the breath with the movement and concentrating on the tanden, then he will not be aware of the painful strike. Shime has a determined methodology which should always be followed. Always begin at the bottom with the feet and work up the body from there. When striking the shoulders, do not strike the area closest to the neck, as this is dangerous. Always aim for the actual shoulder area. It is important to observe the back muscles. Master Higaonna's teacher, Master Anich Miyagi, would test the tension here by pressing with the fingertips. The back muscles are important as power for a punch originates in the legs and back before it's directed along the arm and into the fist. Now Master Higaonna will demonstrate Shime standing in front of the student. As the student inhales, the fist is pulled back. Then, as the fist is pushed forward while focusing the tanden, Master Higaonna offers resistance. This encourages the student to combine breath and movement and helps the student to focus power correctly. Check that the legs and buttock muscles are still focused using the foot. If the student is strong, then offer more resistance. The amount of strength used by the instructor will depend on the student. It is wrong and unhelpful to offer so much resistance that the student cannot move. Always take into account the student's physical ability when assisting him and be sure to harmonize your actions with his breathing and movements. The purpose of Shime is to develop the student's strength. The instructor must be aware of the student's condition at all times. He should observe the skin color and note any signs that may indicate sickness. Shime can also be performed by two instructors simultaneously. One stands behind and one in front. Master Anich Miyagi recalls that in former times it was even known for 4 instructors to assist one student.